Well, hi guys. It's day 2, and I've been about 4 hours trying to figure out how in the world to get a hose from here to here, to the oil cooler. And every time I come up with something, or try something, this is about what I get. And that ain't gonna work. Not that far off. And I've been trying to turn this down more, and when you do that, it cocks it over even farther. I've thought about running this off for the hydropower, but if you go off this one with a street L or something like this, there ain't no way. This is aggravating. All because of a stupid piece of aluminum. This is what was on it. It was just like that. And it lined up. And I can't find pipe fittings or brass fittings or basically any other fittings that can get me any closer than this is right now. Even thought about using a hydraulic fitting such as this here, which will get me in a little shorter, but I'm going to have the same problem that I had the other way with that's not going to work that way, I don't think. It would with this one. I really hate new packaging. If you want to get into it, you can't. This may actually make it worse, I don't know. At this point in time, It ain't much any better. Well, if I could get that up here. And get this around back. Ouch. Yeah, we're still way too off. Because if you put a nipple in, say just a nipple in it, like so, you're still that far off. But it may end up being what I have to do because I'm running out of ideas. I don't know. I'd have to use a piece of 3/4 inch hose for sure. I don't know. I'll be back in a minute. I gotta think about this because that's getting as close as I've come so far. So I may go scrounge some more of my fittings and see what I can come up with. So hang on, guys. I'll be back. Well, it's about a half hour later. I got it to move about half the distance. So I think I'm just going to nail it down right where it is. Oh, you're kidding me. Naturally, why not? Hose clamps on the wrong side. Oh, I'll tighten the top one. Unless I want to do it that way. I'm just going to do it that way. I'm tired of fighting with this thing today. This is one of those you don't want to tear it up deals ever, because had I known before I touched that thing that it was aluminum, I would have never, ever, ever touched it. And as they say, this is not a job I'm proud of. That is hillbilly and something to the extreme. Yeah, that's all you can call that. Pain in the butt's what I call it. Brass fitting. You don't want to know what that cost. And I know I could get it cheaper going through Granger or all these other places. But Granger and all these other places is having a hard time getting stuff shipped right now because of the coronavirus. So, local hardware store, $11, which is ridiculous. But as they say, this is not something I had to anticipate breaking. I never would have thought that would have been aluminum to start with. But, as they say, you live and you learn. I know somebody will say it. Could have got it, from one of the other stores for $2 or $3 probably. Well, that may be in your neck of the woods, but in my neck of the woods you don't get that. Nope. Alright, I gotta turn it. It'll get painful quick. Ow. This is one thing I can honestly say should have been engineered better than it was. Oh, don't you turn. Don't you turn. You cur. Really don't like to do this, but you ain't got much of a choice. You do it anyway. Okay. Now, that's enough to wear you out. Alrighty. Everybody kind of laughs at me for some of the stuff I save, but these little jewels are out of several Ford and Chevy engines for the heater hoses, and that's the kind of stuff I save for a rainy day project such as this. Get a little more. Okay. Good enough. Alright. Oh, this might be a disaster, but nope. Need just a little bit more. Oh. Come on, just. Don't believe I'm going to get it. Which probably will make this harder to put on. We'll see. You know, it's amazing to me how stuff disappears. I believe I've got a gremlin in here helping himself. Yeah, I'm going to have to turn that just a little bit. And somehow or another, I've got to turn it. Now, some of you may be asking why I bought red hose. Well, quite frankly, it's because that's what they had. All right. Whoops. Did just what I didn't want to do. Again. Get back there. All right. I feel pain a-coming. Ain't gonna work. Not exactly the most convenient place in the world to try to get into. It's going to have to do. That is one thing they could have done a better job of engineering it. For sure. Yeah, let's cut that end off a little better. That's a little more presentable. Ouch! It's definitely going to have to be had something else done with it there. I can foresee a problem. Okay. Ah, crap. Well, we can mark it anyway. With an approximation of the length. Give it some extra. When you buy hose bulk by the foot, it's a whole lot cheaper. See what you see here. Okay. Much rather that be underneath it, but doesn't look like I'm going to get my wish. So we're just going to I hate that screwdriver. Stubbies are great as long as you can feel them in your hand. Sometimes when you don't have the best feeling in your hand, it used to be a problem. At least it is for me. Okay. New hose is installed. Get all the grease off the nice pretty hose. Not exactly thrilled about the way it's run, but gonna have to do. So, with that, that's all. Sorry guys. With that, that's all the hoses changed. Upper radiator hose, new hose here, new hose here. New hose down here, new hose here, new hose here, new hose there. All the hydraulic hoses are all new. All the ends are all new. Tomorrow, I'm going to get the battery box back out because the battery is going back under here. And I got to switch the cables around. May have to buy one new cable. I don't know yet. I have to see how the hot cable looks and if it reaches. That's the other big thing, if it reaches. And go from there. But the old girl has come a long way, okay, since I got it. New air cleaner, primary fuel filter, oil filter and engine oil, hydropower filter and oil, new hydraulic filter, oil's good. The rear end filter has been changed. The cradle has been fixed. The clutch has been adjusted. The brakes have been adjusted. The new fuel tank's on it. And I found out it could have been one of the problems with the hydropower. They had a line teed in to the one side, and it was literally for a heater in the cab. And it may have been kind of enough flow through it that the hydropower was getting warm. A lot warmer than I've ever seen one. Plus, this front side over here in this mess, turn a little bit, you had a T basically like this, except the bottom's 3/4, it's half and half. This fitting out of the top was a 1/2 to 3/8 street L like this, and that goes from takes you from 5/8 down to about 1/4 inch. So that line was not getting the best flow through it to start with. That may have been part of the problem. I don't know for sure. Won't know for sure for, you know, for a while until I get everything back in order, you might say. And I just about bet you this thing don't work at all. It's pretty well caked up with dust and crud. I have to work on that. But it does have the new air filter on it, so that's one good thing. Wind it around, get it out of the way, because I've got electrical connections to make there and here. And I might take this alternator back off because I believe she sat too long on the shelf. And this voltage regulator is charging full bore all the time. So that's probably not helping it either. But be that as it may, this is a job for tomorrow or the next day. See what happens, what I get into. But most of everything I've done to this tractor, other than literally the fuel tank and fixing the cradle, has been what I would consider normal maintenance. New fan belt, all the new coolant hoses, oil and filter changes. That to me is pretty standard.